It's a neat application too because you can record anything that's on your screen. So the syllabus for the college is about the same. By the way, these are all the certification agencies that's available here. CarCam is not available anymore. I need to take that off. Gives you course description, gives you the prerequisite for the class. For the AUT 104 class, there's no prerequisites. But for the ILT, you have to have an intro out of the way. Is that right? AUT 100. Blackboard, everybody okay? Y'all need to show me how to get the Blackboard again. Are you okay there? You'll learn this in your orientation classes. So we can go through the college's website, but the actual address is Blackboard. It's really hard to remember. Lawson State. .edu. And then it'll come into the login screen, which I should have shown you that too. This is the login screen. And what's your username?
First initial.
Might be.
The first part of your email is
It's the first part of your email address. So when you print your schedule out, at the top of your schedule should have gave you your official college email address. And it's the part of your email address without the at lawsonstate.edu. And it usually goes usually your first initial last name followed by the first 4 digits of your student number, I think is what it is. And then your password, this should be on the back of the brief. It tells you that your password is your birthday. I think it's month, day, year, or it might be backwards. And then I showed y'all how to change those passwords, right? So on my institution, you go to what? Personal information. This is where you need to change your password. Because this is where your grades are up there and all this other kind of stuff. And just by using your birth date and your email address, usually it's pretty easy to figure out. So we're looking at first week quizzes. On the other one, it's got course information on that one. I'm sorry. This is the quizzes. Course information, and then your syllabus. So this is what you do: your syllabus brief, which is another copy. What we give the brief out for, it's just 1 page, so we can afford that. But you want something to carry down to the bookstore with you, like when you're going to buy your books and stuff like that, right? So that gives you the piece of paper that shows you what books and everything's required for the course. The syllabus brief, this is the actual true syllabus. This is what you're required to read. The safety and evacuation procedures for the Vesna campus, college dress code, children on campus policy, and essential job function. That's new for me. I don't know if Nancy put that on there. Because what you have to do once you read the quizzes now for the blueprint reading class, we'll probably shift this by 1 week because you don't know who you can't take the syllabus quiz until you know who your instructor is. What we do is we have a quiz, and this came from me, by the way. I took a class in college, and the first class the professor gave out the syllabus. And guess what he did the second test? He gave us a test on the syllabus. but he didn't tell us. Luckily, the rumor had already got around. So we have a syllabus in brief, and this is where you'll have to go take the syllabus. Now, this is not going to be available on for AUT 100 of 104 right now because we don't have the instructor for your class. This is the syllabus quiz. And basically, it's like 19 questions. This is a short one for this class. And then another thing that we do is we also require you to do, this is required, guys. This is what we call the syllabus agreement. So a lot of classes you go in, they want you to sign a piece of paper. What we do is we kind of do what you would do when you install a lot of software on your computer. They give you a end user license agreement. So this is what it says by clicking and submitting. Agree option below. I understand and acknowledge that the syllabus I have read is a binding contract for myself and the college. I agree that my instructor did review the syllabus with the class and did ask questions, did allow questions and answer periods. If I was absent on the first day of class, I must review, and this is supposed to be on YouTube. I'll go back and change that. We used to have a software application we recorded our lectures on called Integrity, but we don't have that anymore. So even if you're not here, you're supposed to go up and watch that, and then you either choose agree or disagree. Of course, if you disagree with the syllabus, you can't attend the class until you let us know why you disagree with the syllabus, right? And you have to have this done real fast. This has to be done. Everybody understand you can't attend class until you agree with the syllabus. Normally we require this to be done before the second class. So in ILT 194, it is already available, guys. So you need to go over and read the syllabus and then do this. You don't have to take the first quiz. The first quiz has to be taken by the quizzes have to be taken by midnight Friday. The syllabus agreement needs to be done by Wednesday's class. If you're in the ILT 194, if you're in the AUT 104, it'll probably be next week because we have to get our new instructor. We'll just briefly go over the syllabus and let you just go over the highlights. Oops, that's the syllabus real brief. So, of course, the course description, what textbooks are required by the class. In the AUT 100, I'll bring your syllabus up. It should be on your brief. You're required about 2 books. One of them is the textbook and one of them is the lab book. In the AUT 104, you need to wire the book that's published by. And you will use the book. If you get into some classes where you don't use the book, this is not like that. It talks about using Blackboard, talks about your Lawson State email. It's very, very important that you check that email all the time. I have it actually coming to my cell phone, and it actually notifies me when it pops up. These are the professional objectives for the blueprint reading class. This is the scale of how you're going to be graded. First week quizzes, tests, assignment, homework, having all your required. There's a lot of class discussion in AUT 104. In fact, the way that class works is that the instructor will assign you a chapter. You go out and read that chapter, and then you have to come up with 5 questions questions and answers that you want to ask the class. And what you do when you come in, you ask the class your questions. I think you have to do 3 out of the 5 because sometimes you end up with the same question. So you have to read that book. You have to have the textbook. So if you're one of those that thinks you can get by without the textbook, In AUT 104, there's no way in the world. This talks about the first week quizzes and agreements. So you got to read the syllabus, you got to read the evacuation, the dress code. You got to go in, and we have agreements that you have to submit. We have quizzes that you have to take. I think there's a safety quiz up there. There's a syllabus quiz. There's not a quiz on dress code. I always say is you're going to adhere to the dress code. So everybody got a brief. What class are y'all in? What class are y'all taking? There's 2 classes in here right now.
104.
104. Okay, come up here and get your brief. You in 104, Charles?
104.
Okay. I can see you back there. I have my glasses on. Everybody okay so far? There'll be 3 tests given. So what you're going to require to do is you're going to read the syllabus. You got your brief. You're going to read the syllabus, and like I was telling the class in AUT 104, currently there's not an instructor assigned to the course because since y'all wasn't in here, we had one of our full-time instructors quit last semester. 2 weeks ago. I give you all one. I think that Mr. Willie Fox is supposed to teach class, but if not, there'll be 3 tests given during the term, and the test schedule should already be up there on the course calendar. So what we have on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, is you have a course calendar. And I've already filled in, so the first test is going to be when? On the 5th. This is a holiday. Everybody okay? The tests have already been scheduled. So this is what the instructor will be posting stuff on. You need to check this calendar. People coming up, well, when is that due? And I'll say, well, it's on the calendar. I guess y'all have ever heard that before. Well, I didn't know that was due today. It's on the calendar. So what we do on the test, by the way, is we don't give makeups. We don't have time. These are 8-week terms. We don't have time for makeup. We have 15 classes here. 15 classes, guys. And then the semester's over. We don't give makeup tests. If you're absent on the day of the test, then what we do is we drop your lowest test score. If you miss 2 tests, you're not going to pass the class anyway. Everybody understand that? So we know things happen. So that's why up front we tell you the days that these tests are going to be right now. Okay, so you know when they're going to be. But we do understand that things do happen, and there might be a night that you might have to miss a test. Well, if you miss a test, it's no big deal because if you're doing well on your other test. You can only drop one. I had one student, every test he took, that was the one he wanted to drop. And I kept saying, you can only drop one. I'm going to drop this test. You can only drop one. And it's not dropped to the end of the semester, guys, so we actually calculate your grade on your test. So 3 tests, you can already see on the calendar when they're actually scheduled. No makeup tests. Assignments and homework. So assignments and homework, they're going to get due dates when they come out. If you don't turn in your assignment on time, what we do is we deduct points for every day that the assignment is not turned in. This talks about the class discussion. This is just for AUT 104. AUT 104, you have 5 questions from the current textbook along with their answers. Class discussion points will not be given on the absence day. But these are stale, so that means if you miss one day, and you don't do your class discussion, it's not gonna hurt you. If you miss 4 or 5 days in a mini term, you're not gonna make it. Another problem we have, this is for both classes, withdrawal. I have this about every semester where a student will just stop coming. And then they expect me to drop them from the class. If you stop coming, that is not withdrawing from the class. If you stop, it's your responsibility to withdraw from the class. Everybody understand that? And it's right here on the side. Now they put it over here on the side. So down here toward the bottom under all LSSC links, there should be a, you see it? I don't see it. I'll put it back in there. There should be a e-withdrawal link over here. Undoubtedly got deleted or something. Now, anybody see it? Report. But if not, on Lawson State's website, quick links, student links, they changed it up. But tell me if I see it. Over here, more student links. That's what it is. And so more student links, and right here is what? E-withdrawal. So to officially withdraw from the class, so if you stop coming, I grade you like you're here. That means if you don't take a test, you get a what on it? 0. If you don't do a lab, you get a what? 0. If you don't participate in discussions, you get a 0. At the end of the semester, you get a what? You get an F. So you get an F. And F's are real hard to get off your transcript, guys. People think. So if you make an F in the class because you just stop coming, then you come back and you make an A in it next time, that F is still in your grade point average. Everybody understand that? And so that'll average out to a C, even though you make an A the second time you take it. So if something happens, and you can do this online, so any place you have internet access, you can withdraw from the class. So it's not hard. I think they want you to do why did you leave and what reasons. I think it's a little survey they want you to do. But you need to drop if something happens, you need to withdraw from the class. Another thing that goes on is that we have what we call a last day to withdraw, and that should be on your calendar. If you withdraw before the class, you get a W in the class. Now, W is don't count against your GPA. You'll still have to retake the course, but it does not count against your grade point average. If you go past the last day to withdraw, you will get a grade. Everybody understand that? It's usually about the last week of the term. So what I recommend I've had people come in, they take the first test, they fail it, and they want to withdraw. And of course, I tell them you don't need to do that because the first test is, you can't get a refund anyway. So what I tell my students is just stay in the class until the last day to withdraw and then withdraw then. So next time when you retake the class, everything is a repeat, right? So I had one student, he would come in and he would take a class, he'd fail a test, he'd withdraw from the class, because he wouldn't talk to me. And then he would come back and he'd do real good on the first test, and then he'd fail the second test, and what would he do? Withdraw from the class. So I finally talked him into staying in, and he ended up making a C in the class. So that's withdrawal. Anything else? lateness, academic integrity, plagiarism. Y'all know what's plagiarism? Yeah, using somebody else's work and claiming it's yours. It doesn't say you can't use other people's works. It's just most people just got to give them credit for their work. But you can't turn in something and then take credit for somebody else's work. Cheating, everybody understand that's right. Decorum. Texting and unauthorized use of internet. Leaving the course. Speaking out of turn, unnecessary travel in the classroom, eating and drinking. Now I don't allow eating in my classrooms. I don't mind if you bring in something to drink. As long as you take it out of here when you leave. Everybody understand that? Take your cans and put them in the trash can. I don't want to come back and have to clean up after you. Wearing inappropriate clothing, sunglasses, hats. I don't know what y'all think, guys, but I think it's a shame that one man has got to tell another man to pull their pants up. So I don't want to see your underwear. Course concerns. This comes up and tells us what the procedure for following course concerns. If you have a concern about any class here at Lawson State Community College, then this is the procedure right here that you should take. Speak with the instructor, talk to the department head, and then file an official complaint. Discrimination and harassment. We do not allow any form of discrimination or harassment in the classroom. Another problem we have with the American with Disabilities Act, Americans with Disabilities, I as an instructor cannot make special consideration for you if you have a disability unless that disability is documented. So if you need special consideration, like a wheelchair lift, or if you need extra time to take tests or something like that, and you've got a disability that's documented, on this campus you need to talk to Ms. Renee Herndon. It's in the syllabus. And then she'll send me a letter saying this is what we need to do to give you a chance of being successful in the class. And then that way, that's the way we have to do it. But you can't come up here and say, Rich, I need extra time to take the test, because if I give you extra time, then what do I have to do? I have to give the whole class extra time, right? If you need extra time to take the test, then we can literally set it up so you can actually take the test and stuff. If you need quiet, we have some students that get really upset when they're in a noisy environment. I don't know about college, but we have people that going up and down these halls all the time. They'll be hollering at people. But if you need anything like that, you need to let me know. We do have a wheelchair lift in this building. We don't have an elevator, but we have a wheelchair lift. It's also got a seat on it, so if you're not in a wheelchair but you have problems coming upstairs, then you can talk to Ms. Renee Herndon and get a key to the thing. Cell phones, make sure you silence your cell phone when you're in class. Don't answer your cell phone in class. I've had this happen where somebody get a phone and they'll start talking. Y'all see the commercial about Alexander Graham Bell? In the theater, he says, you must want one, you must want two, this is one. I really like that. Answer this phone. Acceptable use policy just says the stuff here at college belongs to the college. You need to take care of it. It's not yours. I had one of my students, we had these mice, and he was left-handed. And every computer he'd go to, he would reconfigure the mouse for a left-handed mouse. And guess what he would do? He would leave it that way. And the next student would come in, they'd be doing all kind of crazy stuff. Something's going on with this mouse. Notes. Another problem we have here is this guy right here. This one right here. It's the responsibility of the student to inform the instructor if she arrives late or leaves early from a scheduled class. We do roll deals with financial aid. So I'll do a roll here in a minute. We had to wait for first night of class. We kind of hold up on. Usually I do roll the first part of class. Start of class, the first of the semester, I'll call it during as I learn your names. Usually takes me the first test and then this is not only a concern for me to get you on roll. So I do roll at the start of class. You come in late, I mark you absent, you come in late, I don't know you're here. And then you have a wad on your thing. You have an absent because you did not wad. And by the way, I got a one-track mind, so I call roll, and once I call roll, I'm through with calling roll, I'm in the class. So you can walk into class, I can look at you, you know, you can ask the question, and if you don't come up and say, Rich, make sure that you get me on that roll, then I might not get you on. Another problem is that I have you marked absent. We have something happen, you know, we have to evacuate, and I have you marked absent, and you're stuck in here in the classroom. We're not going to send anybody in here after you because we think you're what? You're not here, right? You understand that? Also, if you leave early, and then I don't know you left early, especially when we get into the lab. I'll show you all the lab, and there's really no lab in AUT 104. In PLC, we have lab. The desks are real high. I've had people leave and I don't know they leave. Something happens, we have to evacuate the building, and I have you as present. And then you left early, and we send somebody in here looking for you, right? You understand? Into a dangerous situation. So just make sure that if you, and there's no such thing in college, there's no such thing as excused absence. I don't need to know why you have to leave. All you need to say is, Rich, I need to go somewhere. I gotta go. You just let me know. Just let me know if you have to leave early. Everybody okay? Don't say, Rich, is it okay if I leave? Because guess what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say no. Now I might give you a little thing. I might say, well, you're gonna miss this, you're gonna miss this, and you really need to stay. But if you gotta go, you gotta go. I can't keep you here. And also, we don't use profanity in my classroom, so if you're into that. So that's basically the syllabus on just about both classes. I'll rip over to the other class real quick, and it's almost the same, except the Blackboard site is just a little different. So here it's on the first week in course information. And then I have a big thing up here. This is where all your quizzes are at that you're required to do. Here's the syllabus and the syllabus brief. And everybody has a brief, right? Because what we don't do is we don't put this information. So the syllabus and the syllabus brief are actually one thing. She said we don't put this information because it's on the brief. You know, I'll give you my office hours as soon as I figure out what I'm teaching. So in this class, this is the textbook that you're required, and they changed the textbook. I think it's, when I checked, it's the same title. So that's why we didn't put an ISBN number or not. I know these are down there. I checked that. But you need to buy the hardware manual programming book and then the lab program. If you're taking advanced PLCs, which is in term 2, we use the same book and use the same level. Now you need to have you gotta have a scientific calculator with trig functions. You can't have a calculator that does base computing. We're going to be learning about different numbering systems. PLCs are computers. Computers use a different numbering system than what we're used to. We use what we call the decimal numbering system or base 10 system, which are very, very similar. Computers use what we call the binary numbering system. And then we pick up 2 more numbering systems that makes dealing with the binary numbering system easier for us. So we'll look at a number system called hexadecimal. We'll look at a number system called octal. And then we'll look at some binary codes that we use to represent. So we don't want you to have, you can get a calculator that does base conversion. In fact, but using a calculator to do something you should know how to do. So Windows calculator is really, really neat. So I can come in here and enter a number in decimal, and this is what it would look like in binary. That didn't prove anything, right? So we're going to show you how to do these conversions. It's not hard, guys. Once you've dealt with the binary number system a long time, it becomes almost like the base 10 number system. So going between the bases is not as hard as it feels. Now that number would have been big. And look at the difference in the size of the numbers. But what do you notice about the binary numbering system and the decimal number system? So here we can have digits up to what? 9. Here everything is represented in what? Ones and zeros. Blackboard, this is what we're going to do in the course. Everything else is the same, except the scale. Here we don't do class discussions. So 26% tests, 10% assignments, 4% quizzes, first week quizzes, having the required supplies, 32% laboratory, final exam 26. By the way, at Lawson State, to get a degree on an award, you got to have at least a C average. So Lawson State considers a C to be passing. That's the lowest you can make in a course and not have to repeat it. So that means if you make a D or an F in the course at Lawson State, you're going to have to repeat the class. Everybody understand that? And make at least a C in every class. And this is the scale. That's what it says here. Tests, same thing. 3 tests. Assignments, first week quizzes, same in both. Recorded lectures. So we make an attempt to record the lectures. We upload them to YouTube. I try to link them in, guys, I try to do this on Fridays because it takes longer to upload. But once you upload them, then YouTube has to compile them over to their video format. So usually once I upload, it takes longer to upload them than it does for me to record. My name is Rich Raymond. You can go up there and just search for me and you can follow me. There's about almost 500 lectures up there. So the newest lectures will be here, which works out real good because what we're going to find out in the AET 104 class is you're going to listen to a lecture tonight, and it's going to be one that was previously recorded. So that's one feature that it gives us the ability to do. Talked about absence at Alder Reed. Everybody okay on how to withdraw from the class? You have to. Plagiarism, and then everything else is exactly the same from here on out. So that's the syllabus, guys. Y'all got any call? Y'all got any questions on the syllabus? Like I said, we just briefly went up because it's your responsibility to read the syllabus. All I did is just go over the highlights or something that I want to make sure that you do. The IoT 194 class, you're going to have a quiz that's due Friday before midnight. The AET 104 class, it'll probably be next Friday. We'll probably have to shift yours a week. Because you don't know, part of the syllabus quiz, of course, is knowing the name of your instructor. Another thing that we have, let me bring up the syllabus quiz real quick to show y'all what we have. Now this might only be, I'm not sure, I don't think the teacher that does the blueprint reading class, I don't think that he uses this Remind software. But when we look at the syllabus quiz, the first question is I'm going to ask you for a phone number that you can be reached at. Oops, that's the safety and evacuation quiz. Like I don't know how to get them all the time. So the very first question on the quiz says provide a number where you can be reached. Hopefully it's a cell phone number. If it's not, that I can't send text, I wrote a number. And then the next question says, is it okay for the instructor to provide a phone number to send text messages pertaining to this course or loss and stuff? And I don't share this with anybody, guys. Just say email our department. And if you answer yes, then I'll set you up to receive text. If you say no, you still get credit, either yes or no. It's up to you whether you want to get text. But it's been shown that people read their text probably 99% of the time. People check their email every once in a while. So I only use this for important stuff. I might send you say check your email. I might send you a text saying, okay, the text has been cut off. We had on the Birmingham campus, well, even here, we was over in the Hall building, and the whole building lost power. So what could we do with our classes? We either had to move them or cancel them. Well, that's what we use this application for. By the way, they also have something called Cougar Alert. This is your first semester. When you take your orientation class, you should sign up for that, because that's the main way that the college sends you that type of stuff. Like, the college is closed. We had a 18-wheeler dropped off some stuff at the bookstore and decided instead of going out to the road behind the issues there, they shot across the parking lot. Their trailer got caught on the 3-phase down drop for B building. Tore it out, broke 7 telephone poles around the line up there. And of course we lost power to the whole campus. That's a true story. Of course it's been a few years. So think about this, like I said, this is the syllabus quiz for AUT 104. This will probably be next week before it's up. We should have somebody on board before then. I think Mr. Foster is going to teach the class, and he won't be back. He won't be in until. So for tonight's class and for Monday's class, we're going to let y'all watch a lecture. Okay, and then after that, everything should be on track. Everybody okay? Okay, so for the AUT, for the ILT 194, y'all can take about a 30-minute break. And for the AUT 104, got to come back, guys. I hadn't called roll yet, right? And the AUT 104 class needs to hang around. So blue pair ready. I need to hang around. That's the list.
So that's everything I need. I'm in the ILT.
194, yeah. We're going to take about a 30-minute break, and we're going to come back.
That's all the paper you gave.
Yes, that's all I got. Then we went over to. I don't have access to the roll, so y'all are going to have to sign in for me. Excuse me? You're in ILT 194? Okay, so.
And this is Monday, Wednesday. 104.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Oh, I just noticed that.
Have you already taken one?
Not yet. I'll take it when I get there. The ILT 194 class is Monday, Wednesday, so y'all need to make a correction on that too. And it's going to meet over in A206. Y'all saw that classroom, right? So here's a row y'all need to come up here and sign. Because like I said, I don't have access to the